Alright, if it's noisy, it's because there's air conditioning on. Fitness David here. I wanted to just do this little intro regarding, I happened upon this video that was done by two physical therapists. I don't know, I mean everyone's a trainer, every physical therapist thinks they can cross over to every other expertise. It's like, you know, sometimes people gotta stay in their lane. But that's also the case with trainers who pretend to be nutritionists and all that stuff. I watched the video. What got me was their idea of what muscle soreness is about. Now I was still confused as to what kind of muscle soreness they're talking about, but when the person started talking about it, I was like, oh, I can't even watch further than that part. That kind of really got to me. A myth was being propagated that has been debunked since the 80s, since the whole fitness industry began. So I thought I would do something about that and put together a video, and hope you like it.
Soreness is a sign of a good workout. Soreness is basically...
What kind of soreness are they talking about? Knee soreness? Neck soreness? Pelvis soreness? I think whoever picked the pictures is off. Okay, there's different types of soreness, but I'm confused. Really, I'm really confused.
when you have an accumulation of lactate in your blood, it turns yourself into more of an acidic state.
Okay, what soreness are you talking about? Because it seems like you're talking about soreness after exercise, during the day. Lactate will reabsorb. It's a 3-carbon chain, just like glycolysis. It's a 3-carbon chain, like pyruvate, which is part of glycolysis. You know, that goes into the Krebs cycle afterwards, an electron transport chain, and it creates energy, you know what I mean?
The lactic acid system. It works by synthesizing new ATP molecules from glycogen, which is the stored form of sugar in our bodies. The reaction is known as glycolysis, and because it doesn't involve oxygen, it's called anaerobic glycolysis. Through a complex series of reactions, glycogen breaks down into ATP and lactic acid. This anaerobic glycolysis occurs when muscles are working above their lactate threshold, something we'll look at in more detail later in the program. As lactic acid builds up in our muscles, they begin to hurt and feel stiff, and this serves as a signal that our muscles are wanting a rest. Anaerobic glycolysis is the basis of the lactic acid energy system. During high-intensity exercise, it takes about 10 seconds to really kick in and lasts about another 20 seconds or so before the third system starts to play the most important part in providing muscles with the energy they need.
So, if you have too little oxygen available, like your exercise intensity is too high, anaerobic, you know, aerobic, anaerobic, you're going to produce more lactate or lactic acid. But once you lower your exercise intensity, that burning will go away because it'll be reabsorbed and be used as energy, you know, gluconeogenesis, you know, kind of like the 3-carbon chain that goes back into the Krebs cycle. You're propagating a myth that's been around since, I don't know, the 80s at least, you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not lactate that causes soreness.
And that's when you kind of feel that burn effect that people talk about.
Okay, the burning is while you're doing the exercise, yes. But you're saying soreness, okay, what kind of soreness? Usually when people talk about the soreness, the day later, 2 days later, that's delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS. That is not from lactate, that is from inflammation, okay, swelling. You get a little micro tear of the muscles and it takes a day or so before the swelling gets to a maximum and touches the nerve endings. Maybe you missed that class. Are you sure you're a physical therapist? See, this is the thing about physical therapists. I've had a couple, they don't know anything about exercise. You know what I mean? Like working out. You got doctors who don't know anything about nutrition because it's not included in the curriculum. And so, yeah. Same thing with the physical therapist, unless you want to show me otherwise, which you're not showing me otherwise because you're saying...
Is soreness a factor of a workout? Yes, potentially. our patients, our athletes have had plenty of great workouts and not felt sore the next day.
That's true. You don't need to feel sore the next day. When you're working out too intensely and you get muscle soreness, I used to actually want to have muscle soreness all the time because I thought that was an indicator of improving in your muscle growth, but it's not. So yeah, that's kind of true. If you're sore, it means you took it up too much of a notch. It's good to do it once in a while, but all the time, if you're looking for that, first of all, you're going to be really fatigued because you're pushing your limits all the time to get that soreness. And secondly, it's not an indicator of muscles getting bigger and stronger. The recuperation process will be to get to rid of the damage, to heal the damage before it even gets to muscle growth. So it's kind of like you're taking 3 steps back, 1 step forward, so that's not working. So yeah. True on that.
Right? It's just the way the body is, and sometimes you just have a harder workout. The shorter workouts, those 15, 20-minute workouts, those are the ones that typically I don't personally feel too sore in.
Why? You can get soreness in a shorter workout. You have to know how to work out. Do you work out? Bruh, just saying.
But if I get like a nice hour and 15 workout when I'm just going hard at it.
You go hard at it. And why do you go hard at it? You don't need to go hard at it. It's not like harder than last time. It's relative. You have to progress it a little bit, but it doesn't have to be the type A type workout where you're a type A personality and it has to be till you're nearly dead and you have to kill the muscle and all that stuff. And no, don't do that. No.
I'm going to feel a little bit more sore the next day. But again, that doesn't mean that my 20-minute workout was ineffective or bad.
Like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can barely walk, I'm so sore. And their trainer is like, good. And I'm like, that's not so good. Like, you should be able to walk. You should have been progressed in a way that was so gradual that you are feeling stronger. And maybe you are still getting a little bit sore, but you don't feel like you can't walk the next day.
I think rest and recovery, nutrition, sleep is super important.
Yes, rest and recovery, sleep, nutrition, that is important. So like when your workouts are too hard, you're going to have to take more recovery. You're going to have to eat more. I kind of do lighter workouts, higher repetitions to kind of segue through to help alleviate my fatigue and my soreness, you know what I mean? Not that it does that automatically, it just keeps things maintained until I'm well recovered to be able to go further. So it's kind of like you're practicing your technique, you're keeping everything looped up and you're keeping yourself in the loop, you know, the motion's going, and then when you're fully recovered, because if you don't do anything recovering, that works too, but then you're going to kind of be rusty when you get back to the exercises because you kind of lost practice. And I'll also work on flexibility, I'll work on more cardio, I'll fit things in to do while I'm recovering from heavy, intense weight training workouts. Some good things in there, but I couldn't go past on this video. I could not. I stopped at the soreness and I lost belief. I was like, no, I'm not wasting my time with this. But I'll make a video on this topic, just this one.